control and coordination in plants and animals. All the living things have a basic tendency of showing response to the changes in the environment. This is called irritability. The changes in the environment are called stimuli.
Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any video from my channel.
The reaction of organisms to a stimulus is called response. There must be coordination among various parts in the body, which is in turn controlled by another system. This is called control and coordination system. In plants, coordination is brought about by special chemicals called plant hormone. In animals, this involves nervous system, endocrine system and sense organs. The movement of plants in response to various stimuli is called tropism. Some of the types of tropisms are phototropism, response towards light; geotropism, response towards gravity; hydrotropism, response towards water; stigmotropism, response towards touch; thermotropism, response towards temperature or heat; chemotropism, response towards chemicals. Plants do not have nervous system and sense organs like animals. However, plants can sense the presence of stimuli like light, gravity, chemicals, water, soil and respond to them. This is brought about by plant hormones. Response in plants is so slow that it cannot be observed immediately, but the effect can be seen after some time. Plants tend to respond slowly to stimuli, but there are some exceptions. Insectivorous plants like Venus flytrap responds very quickly on touch. The leaflets of touch-me-not plant, that is Mimosipudica, gets immediately folded and drooped on touching or vibrations.
There are 5 main types of growth regulators which can be classified under 2 categories. They are: first one is plant growth promoters, example auxins, gibberellins and cytokines. Second is plant growth inhibitors, example abscisic acid and ethylene. General functions of auxins, gibberellins, cytokines and ethylene. First one is promote cell division, cell enlargement, elongation and cell differentiation. Second is induce phototropic movement of shoot system. Third is initiate the development of roots, flowers and fruits. Fourth is controlling the falling of leaf, flower and fruit. Fifth is control the premature withering of flowers and fruits. Induce parthenocarpy, that is development of seed from flower without fertilization. Seventh is break the dormancy of seeds and buds. Eighth is delay aging of leaves. Ninth is control the opening of stomata. Control and coordination in man. In human beings, nervous system and endocrine system work together in association with sense organs to bring about all activities. There are 2 main ways of transferring information from one part of the body to another. One way is by sending chemical signals through the blood and the other way is by sending electrical signals through the nerves. The first way includes endocrine system and the second way includes nervous system.
Endocrine system. Gland. A gland is an organ made up of cells which are specialized for secretion of particular chemical substances. These are special chemical substances secreted in a minute quantity by endocrine glands. They are carried by blood to target organs on which they act and coordinate their activities and functions. Endocrine system in man. The major endocrine gland among them are pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, adrenal glands, islets of Langerhans and gonads, that are testes and ovaries. Pituitary gland. This gland secretes many hormones which control the functioning of other endocrine glands. Pituitary gland is called the conductor of endocrine orchestra. When growth hormone is secreted in excess prior to sexual maturity, the growth will be very high and leads to gigantism. When it secretes in less quantity, it leads to dwarfism. When growth hormone is secreted in excess, even after maturity, it leads to a disorder called acromegaly. Hyposecretion of antidiuretic hormone, that is ADH, from pituitary leads to a disease called diabetes insipidus. The patient passes large quantity of dilute urine since reabsorption of water in the kidneys has decreased. Thyroid gland. It secretes a hormone called thyroxine. It influences the rate of metabolism, increases the heat, and promotes the mental and physical development of the body. Usually, people living near the coastal region do not suffer from the goiter. We are using iodized salts for cooking food. Cretinism. The symptoms of this abnormality are stunt growth, retarded mental development, bowed legs, defective teeth, protrusion of the tongue, and loose, wrinkled skin with leathery texture. The underactivity of thyroid gland in adults may lead to myxedema. This can be cured by administration of required quantity of iodine.
Hyperthyroidism. Hyperthyroidism causes high metabolic rate, protrusion of eyeballs, high blood pressure, nervous tension, irritability, profuse sweating, fatigue, and weight loss. Parathyroid glands or secrete parathormone. The function of parathormone is to regulate the amount of calcium salts in blood and bones. Deficiency of this hormone leads to painful muscle cramps, and excess secretion of it results in the loss of calcium in bones, making them soft and spongy. Islets of Langerhans. Islets of Langerhans secrete two hormones, namely insulin and glucagon. Insulin promotes the conversion of glucose into glucagon, which is stored in liver and muscles. Under secretion of insulin leads to increased level of glucose in the blood that is excreted through urine. This condition is called diabetes mellitus. The common symptoms of this disease are increased glucose level in the blood, excretion of glucose through urine, frequent urination, thirst, fatigue, and sweating. This disease can be controlled by administering insulin injection. Adrenal glands. Adrenal glands are triangular cap-like structures located on top of the two kidneys. Adrenal cortex secretes many hormones. Cortisone among them regulates the rate of metabolism and the concentration of salts in the blood. Adrenal medulla secretes three hormones, which are adrenaline, non-adrenaline, and dopamine. Adrenaline regulates heart rate, breathing rate, and blood pressure. Normally, adrenaline is secreted in very small quantities during normal conditions. But in emergency situations like fear, anxiety, anger, and emotional stress, it is secreted in excess and prepares the body to face the emergency situations properly. Hence, it is called emergency hormone. Adrenaline is also called fright, fight, and flight hormone. Gonads. Male gonad is the testis and the female gland is ovary. They produce sex cells called gametes. Male gametes are sperms and the female gametes are eggs. Testes produce male hormones called androgens. The most common among them is testosterone. This hormone is responsible for the appearance of masculine characters in males. Ovaries produce female hormones called estrogen. This hormone is responsible for the appearance of feminine characters in females after puberty. Ovaries also secrete a hormone called progesterone. This hormone stimulates the changes in the uterus during menstrual cycle and pregnancy. Nervous system. Nervous system helps in controlling and coordinating various activities and functions in the body that enable an organism to respond to various stimuli.
What is the importance of nervous system? It controls and coordinates the various activities and functions of different organs and organ system in the body. It regulates both voluntary and involuntary activities of the body. It enables us to adjust to the environment or situation. It enables us to think, reason, and remember. It controls all the reflex actions of the body. A neuron is a special type of cell that is basic, structural, and functional unit of the nervous system. There are three types of neurons. They are sensory neuron, motor neuron, and mixed neuron. Functional components associated with nervous system. The organs that receive stimuli are called receptors. Example, sense organs. The organs which show visible response are called effectors. Example, muscles and glands. The tissues which connect the receptors and effectors and help in the transmission of impulses are called conductors. For example, nerves. Nervous system in man. The parts that are present on the central axis are the brain and spinal cord. They form central nervous system, that is CNS. The parts that are found on the peripheral region are the nerves rising from brain called cranial nerves, and those from the spinal cords are the spinal nerves. They form the peripheral nervous system, that is PNS. We can also see a network of nerves connected to involuntary organs, controlling and coordinating their functions, which is called autonomic nervous system, that is ANS. Central nervous system. Both brain and spinal cord are surrounded by three membranes that are outer durameter, middle arachnoid, and inner pia-meter. They are together called meninges. The space between arachnoid and pia-meter is filled with a watery fluid called cerebrospinal fluid, that is CSF, that keeps flowing between brain and spinal cord. Human brain extremely shows three distinct divisions. They are forebrain, midbrain, and hindbrain. The hindbrain continues to the trunk region as spinal cord. The average weight of human brain is around 1200 to 1400 grams. Forebrain. It is the most complex part of the brain. It has two main parts that are cerebrum and diencephalon. Cerebrum. Cerebrum has two equal halves called left and right cerebral hemispheres, which are separated by a deep groove. But these cerebral hemispheres are internally connected by a sheet of nerve fibers called corpus callosum. The nerves from left side of the body are connected to the right cerebral hemisphere, and the nerves from the right side of the body cross over in the neck and are connected to the left cerebral hemisphere. The information gained through the sense organ is stored in the cerebral cells and is used whenever required. This is called memory. Cerebrum also has centers for intelligence, imagination, emotion, reasoning and willpower. Diencephalon. It is a small area that is covered with cerebrum. It has two parts, namely thalamus and hypothalamus. Thalamus that receives nerve impulses from many sense organs and sends them to cortex. Hypothalamus regulates body temperature, water balance, appetite and sleep. It also controls autonomic nervous system and pituitary gland. Midbrain. It connects forebrain and hindbrain, through which impulses move from hindbrain to forebrain. Hindbrain. It has three parts, namely cerebellum, pons and medulla oblongata. Cerebellum controls and coordinates the movements of muscle while walking or running. Hence, it is responsible for maintenance of balance of the body. Pons regulates mastication, facial expression and respiration. Medulla oblongata is concerned with involuntary activities like breathing, heartbeat, movements of digestive tract. Spinal cord. Spinal cord gives rise to 31 pairs of spinal nerves. Spinal cord is concerned with the coordination of movements of limbs and organs in the body by reflex actions. It is the center of reflex actions. Reflex action and reflex arc. Sudden and involuntary response is called reflex action. This path of nerve impulses involved in the reflex action is called reflex arc. This involves conduction of impulses from receptors to the spinal cord and then to effectors. Reflex arc consists of 5 distinct parts. First one is receptors, second one is secondary neuron, third one is association neuron, fourth one is motor neuron, fifth one is effectors. Peripheral nervous system, that is PNS. All the nerves of the body together make up the peripheral nervous system. It includes 12 pairs of cranial nerves and 31 pairs of spinal nerves which are distributed throughout the body. Automated nervous system, that is ANS. We have certain organs which are not working as per our will. These organs are involuntary organs, but their functioning must be under the control of some nerves. These involuntary organs are connected and controlled by a set of peripheral nerves. This is called autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system consists of sympathetic and parasympathetic nervous system which control opposite actions of parts or organs in the body. When sympathetic nerve system stimulates the dilution of pupil of eye, parasympathetic nervous system controls the constriction of the same. Sense organs. There are 5 sense organs in our body. They are eye, ear, nose, tongue and skin. Eye. Eyes are the sense organs of sight. The skull, they are held by the muscles which also help in their movement in different directions. Lacrimal glands, that is, which secrete teardrops. Structure of human eye. The eyeball is spherical and its wall consists of 3 layers. They are sclera, choroid and retina. The outermost layer of wall of the eye is called sclera. The bulged thin, transparent front part of sclera is called cornea. The second and middle layer is the choroid, which has black pigment and richly supplied with blood vessels and nerves. Choroid completely encloses the eye except the center of the front side. In the front of choroid is an opening called pupil, through which light enters the eyeball. Iris has pigment cells that are responsible for different colors of eyes. The innermost layer of eye is retina. It has visual receptors, namely rods and cones. Rods are sensitive to dim light and cannot differentiate colors, whereas cones are sensitive to bright lights and can differentiate colors. A large number of cones are located opposite to the pupil at a depressed on retina, and this is called fovea, that is, yellow spot. All the sensory nerves of retina form a bundle called optic nerves that leaves the eyeball just below the fovea. Here there are no sensory cells and hence no image is formed. This part is called blind spot. A small space between the lens and the cornea is filled with a transparent and thin fluid called aqueous humor. Behind the lens, there is a large space which is filled with a thick fluid called vitreous humor.
Common defects of human eye. You have seen some of your friends or neighbors wearing spectacles. Your parents or grandparents may also be using them. Why do they use spectacles? They may be suffering from some defects or disorders of the eye. Can these defects be accurately diagnosed and corrected? Myopia, that is, short-sightedness. In this case, the image of the distant object is formed in front of the retina due to the bulging of the eyeball or increasing of the convexity of the lens. This defect can be corrected by using a concave lens of a suitable focal length. Hypermetropia, that is, far-sightedness. In this case, the image of the object is formed behind the retina due to the constriction of the eyeball or decreasing of the convexity of the lens. Presbyopia. Presbyopia can also be corrected by using convex lens. Cataract. Cataract is a condition in which the transparent lens of the eye becomes opaque. This can be rectified by replacement of opaque lens or cornea by an artificial one. The whole eye or cornea of the eyes from the dead body of a man can be removed, stored and grafted to a needy man. Diabetes retinopathy. In this disorder, blood capillaries in the retina may rupture, causing blood entering the vitreous humor and making it opaque. This leads to blindness. This disorder can be cured by laser treatment or a surgery called vitrectomy. Astigmatism. Astigmatism is a condition in which, in some people, a part of the image formed on the retina is blurred due to unevenness of the refractive surfaces of the eye, such as lens or cornea, and this condition is called astigmatism. This can be corrected by using suitable cylindrical lenses. Care of the eyes. Do not strain eyes by reading books with very small letters in dim light for a long time. Do not read books during journeys on roads. Avoid direct bright sunlight, and eyes should be washed with clean and cold water at least twice a day. Avoid watching television from very short distance for a long time. Avoid working on computer with monitor for a long time. In any case of emergency, consult the eye specialist. Avoid self-medication. Ear. Ear is the sense organ of sound. Ear has three parts, namely outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. The outer ear consists of ear lobe, that is pinna, and auditory canal. Ear pinna or earlobe is made up of cartilage. Care of the ears. Wax produced in auditory canal must be regularly removed using safe earbuds. Loud voice should be avoided. Common cold or throat infection sometimes leads to the infection of the middle ear. Some people are born deaf due to congenital defects. A hearing test should be prescribed by the specialist. Small insects or worms entering the ears can be easily removed by filling the auditory canal with lukewarm saline water. Do not use oil. Nose. Nose is the sense organ of smell. The wall of the nasal cavity is lined by epithelial cells with smell receptors. They are connected to the sensory nerve of the nose called olfactory nerve, which carries the smell impulses to the olfactory center of the cerebrum. First aid. The foreign body can be removed by causing violent sneezing using a pinch of snuff. Sharp and hard objects should not be used in this regard, which may cause injury to the nose. It is advisable to consult the doctor in extreme situations. Tongue. Tongue is the sense organ of taste. The sensory cells for taste are distributed on the surface of tongue in the form of taste buds. Each taste bud consists of a group of sensory cells surrounded by supporting cells. The sensory cells are connected to the sensory nerve which carries the taste impulses to the cerebrum, which interprets these impulses as taste. Mechanism of taste identification. When food passes on the surface of the tongue, the sensory cells are chemically stimulated. The chemical impulses are converted into electrical impulses. They are carried by the sensory nerve to the cerebrum of the brain, where taste is interpreted. The skin. Skin is the sense organ of touch. It has touch receptors with nerve ending distributed all over it. These receptors sense touch, pressure, pain, heat, and cold. Some touch receptors are present near the surface, pressure receptors are deeper in the skin, and pain receptors are distributed all over the skin. Care of the skin. Avoid any injury or wound on the skin as it leads to infection. Treat the wound immediately with antiseptic lotions. If you get any skin diseases like ringworm, consult the dermatologist. Cover the skin with warm clothing during winter. It is better to use cotton cloths as they do not cause any skin allergy. In case of any kind of skin allergy in the form of rashes or itching, consult the dermatologist. Do not use any type of cream, powder or soaps which are allergic to your skin.
Subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any video from my channel.